Before you were born, before your name existed in any human record, a decision was made in a realm where time does not operate the way it does here. You were not assigned to this generation carelessly. You were placed here with surgical precision at this exact moment in history because something about this specific era required exactly the kind of soul you are. The world you woke up in today, with all its chaos, its noise, its collapsing systems and rising uncertainties, was not meant to overwhelm you. It was designed to activate you. Your arrival here was never an accident. In the entire stretch of recorded spiritual history, souls are rarely assigned to generations where their specific gifts match the precise crisis of the age. Most souls arrive in ordinary eras, times of relative stability, where their presence maintains balance but creates no great shift. You were not sent to a stable era. You were sent to a hinge point, a moment in history where the direction of human consciousness could turn toward destruction or toward something extraordinary. These assignments are issued once in thousands of years. The soul selected must carry both the wound of the age and the wisdom to transform it. That soul is you, recently, in a quiet moment that looked completely ordinary from the outside. You felt something stir inside you that you could not explain. Maybe it was watching the world spiral and feeling a strange calm instead of panic. Maybe it was a conversation where your words landed differently than expected, shifting someone's perspective without effort. Perhaps it was a moment when you chose understanding over anger, when the easier response was bitterness. That stirring was not coincidence. It was recognition, your soul remembering why it came here. The moral clarity you demonstrated in that unremarkable moment was the signal the universe had been waiting to receive from you. You were never moving through this life unobserved. Forces that operate beneath the surface of ordinary reality have tracked your development since childhood. They watched how you processed pain that would have hardened others. They noted every moment you chose curiosity over cruelty, every time you absorbed confusion about your place in the world without letting it extinguish your sensitivity. Something darker monitored you too, waiting for the wounds of this generation to finally close you off, to make you cynical, disconnected, or numb. Neither side remained neutral. One hoped to lose you. The other knew, with absolute certainty, that you would arrive exactly as you are now. The tests came disguised as ordinary difficulty. You grew up feeling different, like your way of seeing the world did not match the frequency around you, and you carried that quietly without letting it become arrogance or collapse. You watched systems fail people you loved and chose to understand rather than simply condemn. You were handed narratives about who you were supposed to be based on where you came from, and you questioned them privately when questioning was uncomfortable. You extended compassion to people who did not return it. You stayed open in an era that rewards being closed. Every single one of those moments was a test, and you passed. There is a classification used by the celestial order for souls assigned to pivot generations, eras where human consciousness stands at a crossroads. It is not given to the loudest voices or the most visibly powerful figures. It is reserved for those who developed genuine internal awareness under the specific pressures of a chaotic age, who absorbed the contradictions of their time without being destroyed by them. You have earned this classification. Ancient beings who have witnessed the rise and fall of entire civilizations reviewed your record and confirmed what was always written about you. You are considered rare because you grew wiser from this era instead of becoming its casualty. In a moment outside the boundaries of ordinary time, the archangels assigned to generational transitions gathered around your specific coordinates in history. Uriel, keeper of divine light and wisdom, confirmed that your understanding had reached the depth required for this moment. Raphael, guardian of healing across generations, acknowledged the wounds you transformed rather than transferred. And in the presence of every record ever kept about your soul, across every lifetime it has traveled, God, the intelligence behind every era, the architect of every generation, looked at what you had become inside the specific crucible of this age and declared that you were precisely what was needed. By the authority that governs the timing of souls and the assignment of purpose across generations, a decree has now been issued over your life. The season of wondering why you feel different is over. The period of carrying awareness without understanding its direction has been formally closed. You are no longer simply a person moving through this generation. You are now operating as a fully activated participant in its transformation. The confusion lifts. The direction clarifies. The connections, the opportunities, the platforms, and the people required for your contribution are now being released toward you with the full backing of the intelligence that placed you here. You are not a lost soul searching for meaning in a complicated world. You are an ancient consciousness that chose this generation with full knowledge of how difficult it would be, because difficulty was exactly the environment needed to sharpen what you carry. You are a celestial architect of awareness, someone whose presence in a room, in a conversation, in a community, subtly redirects the quality of thinking around them. The uncertainty you felt about your identity was never weakness. It was the natural experience of a soul carrying a frequency this generation had not yet learned to recognize. The world is only now developing the capacity to understand what you have always been. Your mission is not to save the world through dramatic, visible acts alone. It is to anchor a quality of consciousness in this generation that demonstrates a different way of being human is possible. You are assigned to show that awareness and strength can coexist, that sensitivity is not the opposite of power, that someone shaped by the specific chaos of this era can emerge with more clarity rather than less. Every conversation you enter, every space you occupy, every creative or professional or personal contribution you make carries this assignment inside it. You are here to prove, through the living evidence of your own life, that this generation can produce something luminous. Watch now as your life begins to reorganize itself around your activated purpose. Opportunities that align with your specific awareness will begin appearing through channels you stopped expecting. People who carry complementary missions will enter your life with a sense of recognition that neither of you can fully explain. Resources that support your contribution will arrive in unexpected forms. A sudden opening, a conversation that changes direction, a skill you developed quietly suddenly finding its moment. The universe does not support activated souls theoretically. It supports them practically, precisely, and persistently. Every alignment you begin noticing in the coming days is the infrastructure of your mission, assembling itself around you. Your activation does not exist in isolation. Right now, simply by receiving this message with the depth you are receiving it, you are sending a frequency outward that others in your life can feel without understanding why. People around you will begin asking questions they have never asked before. They will notice something different in how you carry yourself. A groundedness, a clarity, a calm that makes them want to examine their own lives more honestly. You will not need to announce your transformation. It will announce itself through you naturally. The ripple you create by simply becoming more fully yourself will touch lives you may never directly meet. Scattered across every continent on this earth, there are thousands of souls who arrived in this generation carrying the same assignment you carry. They grew up feeling the same quiet difference. They processed the same contradictions. They developed awareness in the same difficult conditions. They are in different industries, different communities, different cultures, but they share your frequency, your purpose, and your moment of activation. Many of them are receiving their own version of this confirmation right now. When you step fully into your mission, you will begin finding them. Through work, through creativity, through purpose-driven spaces. You are not isolated. You are part of a generation-wide awakening that is accelerating now. If what you just received landed somewhere real inside you, respond to it with intention. Subscribe now, because the transmissions coming next are specifically sequenced for souls in active awakening, and you cannot afford to miss what follows. Type 777 in the comments right now. That number carries ancient frequency, and declaring it publicly marks your conscious acceptance of this activation. Share this with one person whose purpose you want to see ignited alongside yours. because harvest multiplies when it is shared. And stay until the very end of this video, because the final moments contain something placed there only for those patient enough to remain. And patience, as you already know, is exactly what this generation needs most. You were born in this generation, not despite its difficulty, but because of it. Everything this era demanded of you, the confusion, the adaptation, the quiet resilience, was building the exact qualities the world now needs from you. Your timing was never wrong. It was always precise. Step forward now with the full weight of that certainty behind you, and let this generation finally see what was placed inside you before you ever arrived.